Hi everyone, I am Sujay Kumaran working in Sim Technologies as an application engineer. In this webinar, we are going to see how the CAD is evolving with today's technological world. And in this slide, you can see how things are evolved over time. Our telephone has become to smartphone, and our film camera is evolved to a digital camera, typewriters to laptops, and notepads to tablets. Generally, evolution also simplified things with lot of added advantages. For example, let's take the typewriter to laptop. With typewriter, we can type the documents, but with the laptop, you can just install whatever the application that we required, and we can just use that applications. And now let's see the evolution of CAD. This picture will give you an idea about the software that are introduced in market. Initially 2D is evolved to 3D, and we make use of the 3D models to make programs for CAM and for simulation, and now we are using the 3D models for 3D printing also. In this, SolidWorks started the journey at 1995 and still a successful product in market, and now they are introduced a platform for CAD called 3DExperience. With this single login of 3DExperience, you can do lot more things than CAD, which is required for an organization for collaboration and to improve the productivity. We are going to take a look at some really exciting new cloud solutions from SolidWorks that can totally transform your product development process. Before we getting into the technology, I'm going to start with the topic of collaboration. How do product development team collaborates today? I'm sure most of you use a combination of many different tools that can be a huge amount of information to manage on even the smallest of the project. Project planning, CAD data, documentation, requirements, and the list goes on. The result is often we spend a huge chunk of time sitting in meetings, getting bombarded with emails, working with disconnected process and software products. Long gone are the days where most of us spend 5 days a week working on our desk 8 hours a day. We are often traveling to meet with customers and suppliers, meaning you need to have access to your project information when you are out of office. With any product development project, we are absolutely have to be in control of what we are sharing with whom. We also want to make sure that how we share the content in secure and simple way built in right away in our day-to-day process. So that's how we typically do things today, and challenges we are facing. What about doing things differently with 3DExperience platform? The 3DExperience platform helps solving the challenges faced by product development companies today, providing one single collaborative cloud-based environment connecting all the projects, stakeholders, ideas, design data, and solutions. Using the 3DExperience platform, you and your design team can quickly and easily create, review, and evaluate 3D conceptuals and detailed models. And since the 3DExperience platform is cloud based, you can do all these things on any device wherever you are in the office or working remotely. All you need is an internet connection, and you can log to work on your design projects wherever you are. Next, let's go ahead to take a look at the solution in detail. We are going to follow a story of a product development team who are leveraging the power of 3DExperience platform on a project to redesign a monitor stand for a client. Let's get to know the team members a little better. Pete, the project manager, and just like many of us on this webinar today, he wears multiple hats while trying to stay focused on pulling together resources to get the job done. Derby is a mechanical engineer of the team, responsible for developing the detailed design. Like Pete, she often out visiting customers and needs to have access to the project information outside of the office. Don, the industrial designer with an extra amount of creativity and responsible for developing the more complex organic shapes. And finally, Adam. What team is completed without a simulation engineer? Adam uses the most current analysis tool out there to help the team validating the design as they get developed. So, the team are going to start a brand new project to redesign part of our existing monitor stand design on behalf of one of their clients. It all starts with Pete. It's Pete's responsibility to share the design brief with the team, planning the project and assigning the relevant task to the team member. Pete starts his day by logging into the 3DExperience platform via his browser. This takes Pete straight to his dashboard. The dashboard allows Pete to monitor what most important to him so he can get his job done. The dashboard provides Pete with some powerful productive tools that enhance him to keep track of the design project informations or in fact any information he chooses to display relevant to his day-to-day work. For example, the website that he might access on a daily basis capture meeting notes and viewing designs. So Pete has gone ahead and opened the existing monitor stand design supplied by the client. Pete can easily explore the design and make decision about what modifications are required just using his web browser without having to open the design in any CAD software. Pete isn't just limited to viewing design related contents. Moving to his market tab, Pete has some of the business analytics tool to track the industry's news related to the current project. Pete's tab essentially becomes a live news feed within his dashboard. One tab on his dashboard is dedicated to a collaborative design community where he can keep track on his team's progress as they start working on the monitor stand design project. This is where Don, Derby, and Adam collaborates on their progress for the design, which is informationally displayed in the series of posts like our Facebook and LinkedIn, but for a design project. Don has posted his idea for the new base cover design. Next, Pete goes ahead and adds his thoughts on the conversation thread. At the same time, Don and the rest of the team will get notified that the post has been updated, keeping them informed without having to reply on Pete to send time consuming emails. Pete is happy for Don to start working on the developing the concept design further and moves the Don's design idea to the concept stage. Communities are the powerful way to capture the evolution of any design projects and provide Pete and his team with a complete history of decision making process and their design developments. Next, Pete is going to go to his projects tab and create a new project focus on the redesigning of the arm mounting brackets and a cover for the design base. Adding images, titles and descriptions to the projects allow it to stand out from the collections of other projects Pete's working. Projects are broken up by a summary, tasks, schedules, members and contents. First, Pete will add the members of the projects, Derby, Don, and Adam. Once the three members has been added, he will move over the schedule and begin by adding a milestone. Pete is a fan of working backward from the goal. For this project, the goal is to share the final monitor stand design with the customer. Once the date is set, which in the case is going to be fixed, he is now ready to go ahead and create the task need to be reached it. He will start by adding a new task for Derby. She is going to be redesign the mounting bracket. Pete's created the task and now he can zoom in on the plan view. He will need to add Derby to the task by simply searching or picking from the list of team members. Next, which is really important, is he willing to attach the design data which has been provided by the client? This ensures when Derby accessing the task, she has all the documents necessary to get the work on the task right away. We will just fast forward a few minutes. Pete has created a few more tasks for the project and will easily add a dependency by using a simple drag and drop. This will this is a nice way of building up the project and adjusting the schedule as necessary. So that Pete starting the project, collaborating with his design team, with the community, looking at the client data, getting feedback from the team and then building the project plan. Next, the rest of the teams need to get started doing some of the design works. We are going to start with Derby, the mechanical designer. Just like Pete, Derby is going to log in to his dashboard through the web browser. On her dashboard, she can see all the tasks assigned to her. She is going to start off with the mounting bracket redesigning task. She can literally drag the task to in progress, which updates the project plan. This means the Pete can see that the project is being worked on because he is monitoring the project plan. Derby is going to do some design changes. She is going to use the X-Design apps in 3D Creator to create a new mounting bracket for the monitor stand. She is working in the web browser but can still access powerful design tools without limitations. This is very similar to create 3D design using conventional desktop software. You start with 2D design and extrude it into 3D shape. She can create dimensions, relations, and even advanced sketches using mirroring, for example. She can choose contour that meets her design requirements and extrude those are necessary. Once the bulk of design is completed, she can start adding other elements like fillets, chamfer, holes, etc. The bottom features requires a tapper, so she will use a revolve cut, but she use a shortcut to drag the sketch profile out. This is important because in other CAD solutions you don't be required to exit the command and start over again. This isn't the case in XDesign. Because of super features, she can simply pick the type of feature that she wants from the drop down menu. This not only saves here to save a few clicks, but it can work on features creating much earlier in the design. Doing this type of operation is in conventional CAD system either isn't possible or may result in hours of rework. Now the new part is completed. Derby needs to place it in the assembly. She is going about it in a very smart way. Rather than deleting the old component and having to recreate the relationships, she simply used the replace command. This saves her a lot of time. You can see the geometry is a little bigger than the original design, so she will needs to make the adjustments to the other parts. Instead of opening the component by itself, she will work in the content of assembly. This allows her to see how the changes relates to the rest of the surrounding components in the real time. Very quickly, we can see how all the components come together to create this new design. All the components respects their relationship to each other that Derby creates, so we can all move them to make sure we do not have any interferences or clashes. We can virtually validate the design by seeing its full range of motion. Now the design is completed. Derby needs to update her task so Pete can review it. She will attach her bracket to the deliverable section so the Pete has everything he needs to review the design quickly. Finally, she moves her task to the done column. Derby has completed her task using XDesign, so next we are going to move over to the Dawn task, creating a cover for the base. This is going to be a much more organic shape, so this time Dawn is going to be using 3D sculpture. He will start with a simple shape called a primitive. He can push and pull the geometry like a virtual clay. This is all done with the web browser, just like we saw the Derby's workflow. Dawn added a crease at the bottom of the base and then using align by line to match the concept sketch given to him. This is a much more neutral approach to this type of design, much better than a traditional extrude, loft and complex surface. It's important that we are not just making nice looking design. They must be manufacturable. We expecting this part to be injection molded, so here Dawn is using some built-in draft analysis capability. Just like before, we push and pull until we get the result we want. So now that the manufacturability is confirmed, we want to finish the design. Dawn can do this in X shape, but these tools are fully compatible with each other. He can just switch his app on the fly and start the work in X design to add the final boss cut and shell features. And then, just like Derby, at the end of the task, he will attach his deliverables using a quick search. Then he can mark it complete by drag and drop to done. So those are some fantastic browser-based modeling tools to enable you to get the design completed quickly. But before we release the project to the client, we want to do a quick analysis on any structural components. Since Adam is part of the community, he see when Derby completes her design using the simulation tools on 3DExperience platform. Adam opens Derby's bracket and set up a quick study simulation that forces to two large monitors of the part. Derby is able to validate the part and ensure the stress, factor of safety, and displacement are within allowable limits. He can even create a quick section view on the fly to make sure that the part performs as expected. Adam is satisfied with the redesign and move his task to done column like Derby and Don had. He may even choose to post the community showing his result. So a lot of things has been happened since Pete originally created the project plan. Don finishes his design, Derby created the mounting bracket, and Dam validated the bracket design. So let's go back and check with Pete. Pete got an overview of the project plan. He can see the status of the task. Completed tasks are in gray. He see the Dawn task is completed and will now open it. Pete can see the deliverable attached, which is Dawn's model. Some tasks are still in progress. You can see those in the dark blue color. Of course, at this time, Pete can go back to the communities to see all the communication between the team members. This is very convenient as compared to have a search through a mountains of email or having a switch to the complete different third-party tool. Finally, design is completed, so Pete want to perform a quick review. Pete is happy with the changes, so he will approve the design and release it. So not only can Pete create the project plan which guides each members to complete their individual task, he can also control the revisions and approved design through the formal process, all in the same environment. It is a very powerful and streamlined way to control and track your product development process. So that brings us to the conclusion of our design story. As we have seen, Pete and his team were able to collaborate and create a project rich with tasks utilizing various engineering tools, all the while working from the cloud. And since they were using SolidWorks cloud design and lifecycle management tool, they were able to stay informated at all times regardless of which device they may have been working from. The team was able to leverage the 3D Experience platform and its many apps, with each team member assigning specific roles containing apps to get their job done. Pete being responsible for the overall project planning and approval of the final design, was assigned the project planner and collaborative industrial innovator roles. In addition to those, Derby and Don, being designers, were also using the browser-based CAD roles, 3D Creator and 3D Sculpture. Adam, being the team member go-to analyst, was assigned the structural designer roles, and the team were brought together in one collaborative environment using Business Innovator, which is the foundation of 3D Experience platform. In summary, the 3D Experience platform is useful cloud-based product development solution, which means that there is no server to configure and maintain, nor time-consuming software upgrades to manual deployment, both of which can significantly reduce your IT overheads, meanwhile providing a secured environment to store your design data. Design team can quickly and easily create, validate, and review 3D conceptual and detailed models. And you can do all of these on any device wherever you are in your office or working remotely. All you need is an internet connection and you can log in to work on your design projects wherever you are. For any queries or to have a detailed or personalized demo, you can reach out us through the number and email IDs which is on the screen right now. Uh, Thank you for your valuable time, and we will meet in another webinar. Thank you.